Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your deep dive explainer for 2026. And look, this isn't just any old year for you. We are calling this the year of pivots for a reason. We're talking about huge foundational shifts that are going to redefine how you communicate, how you see yourself, and yeah, how you do relationships. Okay, let's get right into it.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll kick things off with the first major energy shift of the year. Then we're going to turn that cosmic spotlight right on you. Mid-year, get ready for a massive pivot in your creative and work life, which leads us straight into the main event, a laser focus on your relationships. And then we'll wrap it all up by looking at how the end of the year asks you to review and rework some really key themes.
All right, let's tackle this first major shift because, honestly, the tone for your entire year gets set right at the very beginning. We've got two of the biggest planets out there, Saturn and Neptune, changing signs. And for you, Aquarius, this is huge. It's signaling the end of a really long, kind of difficult chapter and the start of a completely new focus.
Here's just a quick bird's-eye view of the moments that are going to define your year. You've got Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries in February. Then in April, Uranus enters Gemini for a 7-year stay. That's a big one. June sees Jupiter move into Leo, right before a major eclipse there in August. And the year closes out with two pretty significant retrogrades. Don't worry, we're going to unpack all of this piece by piece.
So for the last few years, really since about March of 2023, you've had Saturn and Neptune hanging out in your second house of personal finances. And this probably felt like a constraint, maybe some confusion around money, or just more expenses. Well, the great news here, that really challenging period is finally wrapping up. In 2026, these planets move on into your third house, which means the multi-year theme is shifting away from money worries to a brand new focus on communication.
So what in the world are we talking about when we say third house focus? Well, this is it. It's all about how you speak and write. It's about your relationships with your siblings, your cousins, even your neighbors. We're also talking short trips, your daily commute, the car, and there's a new emphasis on learning practical, hands-on skills. Now, this whole planetary shift really comes to a head in February, creating what astrologer Chris Brennan calls reality distortion field, and it's a perfect description. It can bring this real sense of fogginess or confusion. You might find it hard to get a straight answer from a sibling, or maybe you're just not totally sure what's really going on with a neighbor. It's a time to maybe hold off on making big decisions in these areas because things just might not be as they seem.
Okay, so while all that new communication stuff is settling in, boom, the first eclipse season hits in February and March. And this one shifts the cosmic spotlight directly onto you, your body, your identity, the whole shebang.
An eclipse in your own sign? That is a huge deal. Seriously, think of it like the universe is hitting a giant reset button on who you are. This is actually the first in a brand new series of eclipses on the Aquarius-Leo axis, and this is going to be a major theme for the next couple of years. It's all about kicking off major changes in how you see yourself and how you show up in the world. So, what this really does is it kind of forces you to take a hard look in the mirror. You might suddenly decide, you know what, I'm focusing on my health, or completely change up your style, new hair, new clothes. Or maybe you just have a big aha moment about what you truly want as an individual, separate from everybody else. It is the beginning of a brand new personal chapter, where the main character is you. But, and this is important, this is only half the story. This first eclipse in your sign kicks off a year-long teeter-totter effect. Right now, you're being pulled to focus on yourself, but then, 6 months later, another eclipse is going to pull your focus over to your key partnerships. The entire year becomes this dynamic dance, balancing what you need with what they need.
All right, let's jump to the middle of the year, because this is where things get really interesting. Two massive planetary shifts happen, and they bring this radical new energy to how you approach creativity, romance, and even your daily job and health.
Think about it. Since way back in 2018, you've had Uranus, the planet of sudden change, shaking things up in your home and family life. Well, in April of 2026, that period, it's officially over. Uranus moves into Gemini, your fifth house, and kicks off a brand new 7-year journey of freedom, experimentation, and innovation in your creative and romantic life.
So what does that look like for the next 7 years? Well, think expect the unexpected. Uranus here is all about breaking free. This could show up as sudden changes related to children or a totally new direction in your dating life where you explore different kinds of people. You might pick up new, exciting, maybe even unusual hobbies, or just feel this sudden burst of creative energy. It's all about shaking off the old patterns of fun and self-expression.
And right as this is happening, it's like Jupiter, the planet of luck, literally splits your year right down the middle. The first half of the year, until June, Jupiter is still bringing good vibes and opportunities to your work and your health routines. But then, in late June, Jupiter moves into your 7th house. And for the rest of the year, it is supercharging your one-on-one relationships. And that, my friend, brings us to the main event of 2026. In the second half of the year, a bunch of planets all converge on your partnership sector. This isn't just a passing thought. This is a period of intense focus, major events, and pretty profound change in your most important relationships. Right at the heart of all this is a massive solar eclipse in Leo in August. It's happening in your 7th house of partnership. And remember, lucky Jupiter is already hanging out there. This points to a really significant, weighty turning point. This is not a minor development. This is a major event that is going to define the future of a key one-on-one relationship.
So, how might this actually play out? Well, for some of you, this could be the start of a major new relationship, romantic or business. For others, it could mark the end of a partnership that's just run its course. It could also be a really big event for your partner that affects both of you, or simply the closing of one chapter in your partnership so a new one can begin.
And while all this relationship stuff is swirling, there's one more eclipse in September. This one lands back in Pisces, your 2nd house of income. But this is the final eclipse there. It brings this definitive sense of closure to all that financial stress and uncertainty you've been dealing with. It's like the universe is finally letting you slam the door shut on that chapter so you can really move on.
As we get toward the end of 2026, the energy shifts again. 2 planets go retrograde, and it's asking you to hit the pause button, look over your shoulder, and revise a few things before you can really rock it into 2027.
So in October and November, Venus goes retrograde. Now, what's so wild about this is that Venus retrogrades have this incredible 8-year echo. They repeat in the same part of the sky. So the clue for what's coming up is to look back. Think about what was going on in October and November of 2018 and even 2010. Themes around your career, your beliefs, maybe education or travel from back then are very likely to pop back up now for a second look. And to cap it all off, as the year closes out, we got to talk about Mars. From September onward, the planet of action starts to slow way down, and you can almost feel the tension building. And notice where it's happening, right on the border between your relationship sector and your house of shared finances. It is directly linking your partnerships to money, debts, and what you share with others, and it's setting the stage for the final act of the year.
And this whole thing sets up an incredible duality for the end of the year. I mean, on one hand, you've got Jupiter in your 7th house, one of the absolute best transits for relationships. It brings good fortune, positivity, warmth, and growth. It's just good stuff.
But, and this is the crazy part, at the exact same time, in the exact same area of your life, you've got Mars building up steam. And that can bring conflict, arguments, obstacles, maybe some strife. And specifically, those conflicts are probably going to be tied to that 8th house theme of shared money or debts.
So what you end up with at the end of 2026 is this wild duality. It's like the best of times, worst of times for your relationships. You've got this incredible potential for growth, optimism, and good fortune, right alongside this potential for conflict and financial arguments. You're going to have to navigate both of those energies at the same time, with a lot of awareness.
So that leaves us with the one big question for you, Aquarius, for all of 2026. The whole year is basically a setup for this one dynamic. You have so much energy pushing you towards your own personal growth, your own identity, and at the same time, an equally powerful focus on your key partnerships. The challenge and the opportunity is finding the balance. How will you honor the person you are becoming while navigating the powerful connections you have with others? That right there is the pivot point of your entire year.